We're standing in the middle of this soybean field, and I don't see anything here that makes me think about fertilizer.
Well, it's kind of funny. We were just setting up this shot here, and we were walking around, and Darren said, boy, we need to find a good spot to talk about fertilizer, but there's just nothing that, you know, really makes me think about that. And I said, that is exactly the point of talking about buying fertilizer right now. You know, normally when you're thinking about fertilizer, you've got the combine already rolling out in the field and you're thinking about, what do I need to do for next year's crop? But you know, even though this year's crop is not made yet, you got to look at, when are fertilizer dealers around you loading up on fertilizer? Well, guess what? It's right now. It's July, it's August. That's when they're loading up. The reason why is because typically that is the seasonal low for fertilizer. And if you want to get the very best deal, whether you're buying it wholesale by the truckload, which is what we would recommend, or if you're buying it just from your local fertilizer retailer, now's the time to buy. Now's when you're going to get the best deal of the year on average.
Well, it's a little bit intimidating when you look at where the price levels are right now, because you say, wow, these fertilizer prices, they're way higher. A little intimidating. They're way higher than I've ever paid in my life. Why could I think, you know, I better buy right now? It just doesn't seem to make a lot of sense.
Okay, in the last 8 years, we've done a little study on this, and roughly, here's what pricing has gone up when you look at August versus the following March. Okay, so if you say, well, I'm going to buy it in the late summer or I'm going to wait till spring to buy it, on average, nitrogen has gone up 25%, phosphorus 20%, and potassium 15%. So 25, 20, and 15%. That's a big deal over a time span that is just 8 months or so.
Well, you look at that and you look at the percentage return on investment. What else are you going to do that's going to bring back 15, 20, 25% to your farm? Buying fertilizer now is a good thing. Now here's the other thing. Can you get the fertilizer? And what are supplies going to be like moving into next spring?
Oh, no.
Now,
come on. This supply issue, I'm really not concerned about supply.
You just don't know. You look at potash and you see China buying up a full year's supply, paying triple the price they paid last year. They're nervous about supply.
Okay, here's what I would say about this whole supply thing. There's just no way we're going to have a major supply issue. You know, yeah, supply can be a little bit of a problem, but what's happening, and what my belief is because fertilizer prices have escalated so much, you're going to see a lot of farmers around the country actually cutting back on fertilizer, which makes no sense to me when we have record commodity prices, but that's what's happening out there right now. So I think because usage in the United States overall will be down, you're going to see plenty of supply available. But that doesn't mean that there won't be some spot shortages here and there. And you want to get a lot of these things lined up. Fall is the best time to put a lot of fertilizer on when it's dry. You don't have to worry about dealing with some of that moisture that you end up with in the spring. But we all know we have fields, like this field in particular, is right next to the river. Guess what? We're planting corn next year, and I will guarantee you we are not putting any nitrogen on this fall. We're waiting till spring with that. So sometimes you have some fields where environmentally you just can't put the nitrogen on in the fall when you would like to. You have to wait until spring.
Well, here's the important thing for your farm. When you're looking at what fertilizer prices are doing, yes, they're going to be high because crop prices are high and everybody wants to get a little cut out of that. But plus, oil prices are really high and there's a lot of shipping involved in moving fertilizer around the world and around the country. So don't get all caught up in what input prices are. Keep an eye on what your bottom line is going to be at the end of the year. Because really, it doesn't matter how much you spend putting in the crop. What really counts is how much you're going to get out of it in the fall and what your net is going to be. So don't lose focus. Yes, your inputs are going to be up, especially on fertility this year again, but you're still going to make decent money if you do a good job marketing your grain.
Yeah, but let's put it this way. There's a realistic chance you're going to spend cost of production over $4 a bushel to produce your corn next year. I'm not kidding. I've looked at a lot of these costs and what I think they're going to be even this fall already. So it's going to cost some serious dollars to get a good crop of corn. But if you can lock in the following year, let's say $5 or $6, there's still return that you can make. Now, what I worry about is what happens if you invest all these dollars, you don't lock anything in, you don't hedge any of your bets, and all of a sudden then the price starts to drop. That's what I'm really concerned about. So I guess my advice to you, and you know, don't get me wrong, I still think there's upside in this corn market. It might go to $10 or $12, who knows? But what I'm saying is you've got a lot of downside risk now if you're spending $4 a bushel to put that corn in the ground.
Well, this year it is really important to do some tissue sampling throughout the growing season to prepare yourself for next year, but also to do some good soil sampling this fall so you know what you need to be putting in the field and what you don't, because you want to maximize your efficiency with the fertilizer that you're using.
Yeah, and then you might want to look at something like strip till. We're doing a lot of strip till on our farm. The main reason why is because we can put the fertilizer right where it needs to be. We can extract that fertilizer from the soil more efficiently in year one, so we get the best return on investment on it quickly, because we're spending a lot of dollars on fertility, and I want to use those dollars up as soon as we can, especially on ground that we're renting.
Well, to sum things up, fertilizer prices are definitely on the rise, and they're going to be high going into the 2009 season. Historically, over the years, July and August has been the best time to buy your fertilizer. That's when all the big fertilizer dealers are stocking up. So, doesn't it make sense that you should maybe think about that too?
Well, another thing that you can do to increase return on investment is controlling weeds, like our Weed of the Week. We'll talk about it coming up next.